Hello, everybody. Welcome back to all the racers, and most importantly, welcome back to all of our multitudes of adoring fans. Today we have the opening week of Season 2 of the KWRL Racing League. And oh my gosh, this season is going to be epic. We've more than doubled the amount of racers. We have interviews every week, and we have multiple giveaways. We've got participation prizes as well as an opportunity to win a coveted pilot key. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode because that's where everything will be revealed. Sit tight, strap yourself in, because here we go. So in tonight's episode, we have multiple treats for you. We have an interview that I conducted with BLR, one of the founders of Exiled Racers. We have 5 races. 5 races? Why? Well, there's 45 people in Season 2. We broke that down into 5 groups of 9, which we've called realms. In each of those realms, the 9 drivers will be competing for the first top place, which will qualify them as the Lord of the Realm. What does that mean? Well, 1, it's pretty intense bragging rights. And 2, in Season 3 and moving forward, when you win the Lord of the Realm title, you get to remain in that realm. So therefore, if you really enjoy being part of Scorpius, well then Scorpius will be your realm if you come in first. The top 4 from each realm will be those that move on to the playoffs. And we have a ton of prizes for those that qualify and then win. In addition to that, throughout the entire season, we will have participation prizes, fun glimmer awards for different things, different conditions to winning the prize. Like, for example, it might be whoever has the best looking combination in that race, or whoever does the best with the least. Or it could even be something, who did the worst with the most. Stay tuned. We'll announce those each week, and then we'll announce the winner of those each week. Stay tuned until the end of the episode, because we will have a trivia question. This is the key I was talking about, the chance to win a pilot key. So we will have a trivia question that's based off of something in tonight's episode. I'll ask a question, write it down. At the end of the season, there'll be 10 answers, and then you'll have the opportunity to come into the Discord. Let me know your answers, and then a draw will be held amongst those that have all 10 answers correct. So stay tuned till the end, because that'll be important. With that said, let's get to the interview with BLR. Tonight we have a very, very special guest. Joining us tonight is the one and only BLR, one of the founders of the Exiled Racers. How are you doing tonight, BLR?
Good evening, Mr. Waddle. How are you, sir? Thank you for having me tonight. I'm very excited to be here.
That's awesome. While we're speaking of excitement, how hyped are you for the start of Season 2?
It's definitely the highlight of my week at the moment. I am living for this right now. Cannot wait to see what happens. I am excited for the results this week. How are we looking? When do we start to see it all happen?
Oh, we're gonna see it all happen in the next couple of days. We've just got
Nice.
some production to finish up. So you're actually a part of it. You're a full-fledged member of the league. How excited does that make you?
It's really exciting, and I think this is a really important step for us as a community. Obviously, from the start, we've been talking about building out community-focused or community-empowered gaming, where we're not the ones deciding what your fun looks like as a community, where you actually get to decide what it looks like and how long it is and when it happens, because that's what we think it's all about. And once you have a community that's putting the boundaries of fun together, then it's then people like me can join, where I'm like, cool, that sounds like something I want to be involved with, because that's a great idea. That the way they're setting up, like you are setting up your league right now, is exciting to me. It's once a week. It's super light touch. And because this is all, on chain and you can track the seed of the races, I can race as a founder and it's all, fully trackable and provably fair, which I think is amazing for us to be able to race in a game where we've founded, with the community.
Yeah, it's kind of a special thing. Like you see a lot of games like this that there will be accusations. Oh, they have the codes, they have this, they have that.
Yeah.
What makes us so special? Like, what is it about the algorithm that allows you guys to just participate?
Yeah. I mean, we built this game so that it is provably fair, right? Which is really important to us, so that anyone can track what happened in the races, via the algorithm, because it'll all be on chain. Basically, what we do is we run a seed, and then you can take that seed and check, everything that happened and run it through, and you should get the exact same result. And I think that's something Craig, our other team members, can start speaking to Racer Dev and Sumit.
Mhm.
Um, but that's what we wanted. We wanted to make it all provably fair and on chain, and that's why it's such a incredible use case. The blockchain, in this case, is the provably fair aspect of it.
So speaking of the other founders, which one of you is going to take it?
It's definitely me. Strongest of them all.
Now, have you seen your realm? You seem to be matched up with some heavyweights.
I've got a lot of the big dogs. I know. I
Uh,
think I've got GW in there, who is a well-known classic. I think I've got the Mr. Gouda cheese, one of the best. And I think I also have, is it Becker?
yeah, and you have King Model himself.
Oh, the big dog.
You and
Damn.
I are going head to head. Can't wait to see it.
I think I blacked that out intentionally.
So again, speaking of the fellow developers, how did this all come about? Like, whose eye was this a twinkle in?
Yeah, I mean it's a great question, and one that we've spoken somewhat about in the past when we first started. But basically, Sumit and Racer Dev, we've been sports people for a long time, friends for a long time, and all, we hang out a lot. We spend a lot of time at sports events, and we also have a lot of close friends that are in the fantasy sports betting and fantasy sports world, who are very influential on, we don't just play sports competitively, we also like doing fantasy or playing fantasy sports betting or whatever it is, right? And we have also all been somewhat early in the crypto space, and we'd been very interested in what was going on with Web3 gaming and NFTs, and we started to see a huge opportunity to build something exciting, and the provably fair aspect of the game, it came to life when we started thinking about fantasy betting and sports and gaming and tying it all together. And we also came to the decision that, like, there is a massive opportunity to build a game that is lighter touch for a time poor, I guess, ex gamer, which that's a lot of our target market, is like those that you miss the times of community because they don't have 8 hours a day to play, these highly competitive games, but they do love their time with their friends doing fantasy sports and spending once a week chatting and watching the games and whatnot, right? So that's the type of, opportunity we saw, and we started putting all the pieces together, and we'd spoken about some ideas, and then we just like, okay, we have a great concept here, let's put it together. And that's kind of how it came to life.
I've come from a fantasy sports background myself. I've probably played versions of fantasy baseball and football for 30 years. And that's one
Wow.
of the things that drew me to it too. But why spacemen and spaceships? You could have just as easily made a blockchain fantasy baseball or anything like that. Why this?
So this is something that we talked about very early. We're like, there's some games that are just easy to understand, right? And the lighter touch, the more easy it is to understand, and but also like the artistic element we thought that we could bring to life of building out these like really cool art design concepts we thought was best brought to life in the form of a racing game with a lore and with some stories behind it, which I'm sure you've seen. And we're also all secret nerds where we love fantasy, we love sci-fi, and it just felt like the right time to start, bringing the storytelling aspects of ourselves out into the game and bring it to life and tie it all together, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we on the other side of the fence are thankful you brought it all together. So we've talked about kind of where it came from, where the idea sprung from. Where do you see this all going? Like, we've got an amazing community, probably one of the best that I've ever been a part of. But where do you see us going 6 months, a year from now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. Like I said, when we first started chatting, we've moving to a place of like community driven banter, community driven experiences and fun. And as you can tell, we've started to build features that are based around what the community wants for this community based racing events, right? So Waddle, firsthand, you have ideas, we listen, we build. As long as we feel like it scales and allows other people to benefit in the community when they are building their own leagues, we're going to be moving to that sort of model where people can set up crazy or very simple, events that have big buy-ins or small buy-ins or no buy-ins, or you can start to, rent out your items or offer your items up in like a clunker garage and allow other people to join your league that doesn't have such huge barrier to entry, right? Because we've all got friends that don't live in Web3 and they don't understand
Mhm.
anything about what an NFT is, what Glimmer is, what a wallet is, and you just want to let them have fun and enjoy the world we live in. And so, hey, I've got one or two clunkers in my garage. You can just click this button and you can join the league and race with it for the next couple of weeks, and there's all fun stuff we're doing and we're putting in, bets or whatever you want to do long term. Like we can have that type of aspect. I think that's where we want to head to. I think that's really exciting for us, Ryan. And then we've also got a whole bunch of other stuff that we're looking at and testing. We've never been one to comment too far ahead in the future because, we are a bonus game to your lovely art pieces. But we are looking at some interesting things around controllable, mini games where you can, actually control your races potentially.
Oh, wow.
Um, there's some stuff we've been looking at there. We've also been building out and have almost finished our pub racing
Hmm.
experience
Hmm.
where any one of our community members can apply and set up their own in-person event where they can administer a racing event, put it up on a screen. Everyone in the room can scan the QR code and make predictions on the races, and they can have multiple races throughout the night, whether they're at their house, at a pub, at an event. It's really about interactions and fun competition and banter. Like, so we're trying to scale that type of stuff out, which I think is super exciting as well. We're trying all things that are focused around community, right? And bringing interactions back. That's all about the fun and competition versus like a lot of what we saw very early on with Web3 gaming was all about a financial outcome only, right? And
Hmm.
we just hated that, right? We knew it would ruin communities and we've seen it ruin communities. And what we've ended up with the way we've built our art project with Bonus Game is people that actually respect that vision and really want to be a part of it, which drives such a different audience into our community, which is why, like you said, this is one of the best communities. And a lot of people will say that when they join it. It's like everyone in our community is so nice, so friendly, so non-toxic, so helpful. Like we've had people come in and out and be like, wow, this place feels like home to me. It's super nice. I love hopping in here because y'all are the best. And that's not because we promised crazy shit. And I'm sure for some people it was frustrating, like when. And we're just like, look, you want to be a part of this creative journey we're on, like join us. And if you're not, then there's other project that can promise you the world. And hopefully they deliver, but we all know that building in Web3 is really, really hard. And you shouldn't be promising things because things break, things don't work, it's hard to scale, communities come and go, toxicity happens, there's so many reasons why, right? And I think that's important, and that's why we love the direction we took, and I think our community appreciates that as well.
Oh, absolutely. I've been in many communities where I've seen exactly what you're talking about, where it just falls apart. And I think one of the best responses I saw from our community recently was when someone kind of came back to the fold and said, "Oh, Exiled Racers, what are those worth?" And the response that they got was, "I don't care. Like I couldn't care
Yeah.
what they're worth. The
Yeah.
fun I get from these is worth everything."
Yeah, and I think I saw that the other day, and
Mhm.
it was so enlightening and so nice to see because even when you look at that comment, it's like, I mean, there's so much context behind what's happened in Web3 and what's happened with NFTs, and like you really join our community and you are part of the community and the value is in the community, and that's what we wanted from the beginning, right? Which is why we never made promises of tokens and growth and like all this monetization trash. And we just said, like, look, we're building something cool. If you want to be a part of it, come and join us, and if you want to help the community grow, then join and engage with us, and we'll build something with you like we have with you, Waddle.
Yeah, well, you've definitely built something cool, and we're all excited to see where it goes. And we look forward to seeing how well you do in season two. Stay tuned, everybody. The races will be coming right up. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, BLR. Any final words?
No, absolute pleasure being here. Thank you for everything, King Waddle. You've been an amazing asset to the community, and we really respect everything you've done and how much effort you put into helping us build cool stuff for the community. Because without people that care, it's hard for us to build things that matter to the community. So we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. It's like I've said before, if you're going to give me toys, I need to find out and figure out a way to play with them. So have a great night,
You
and we'll
too.
see you on the track. Well, I hope that interview was as informative and fun for you as it was for me. It's always a good time talking to BLR. Well, we all know what we're here for, so let's get down to business. It's time for us to get to the races. The first race coming right up will be Group 1, the Orion Realm. All right, folks, they're lined up and ready to go. And they're off. Looks like Michael's aggressively moving to the front, but the rest of the group is rapidly making gains. King Waddle and BLR battling up for first, entering lap 2. And look at that aggression, folks. Oh my gosh, the entire field aggressively pushing it as hard as they can. Gentrified is taking the lead with Buddha Cheese and Abs battling it out. There's Seeds, there's BLR aggressively pushing hard. Gouda Cheese launches up into second place, giving Seeds a battle. But Seeds is pushing. Lap 4 and Seeds is in the lead. In the middle of the pack, we've got King Waddle, Degentrified, and Michael all fighting it out. Seeds pushing forward, giving Gouda Cheese a run for his money. Seeds in the lead, entering lap 5. Abs, BLR, and King Waddle in the middle, fighting it out. Back, Michael dropping back with Imperator, taking up the rear. GW and Degentrified having trouble entering into lap 6. Seeds still holding on to the lead, aggressively pushing hard. Gouda Cheese fighting hard. GW makes a move rapidly into first, then pushed back, entering into lap 7. Seeds, Abs, and Degentrified fighting it on the middle with BLR falling far into the rear with Michael and Imperator. Looks like King Waddle's back in the lead with Gouda Cheese fighting hard, entering into lap 8. GW, Seeds, and Abs all fighting up in the middle. Looks like Sub-Zero's having some troubles this time around, folks. Degentrified and BLR fighting to stay ahead of Michael and Imperator in the back. King Waddle back in the front, entering into lap 9 with Gouda Cheese pushing hard. GW, Seeds, and Abs taken up in the middle. King Waddle with a nice lead, but Gouda Cheese refuses to give up. Entering into the final lap, he makes a move! Gouda Cheese takes the lead! King Waddle fighting hard to hold on to his spot, while Seeds and GW and Abs all pushing hard. And we have our winner, Gouda Cheese takes week 1. Oh my gosh, how awesome is the 10 lap format? So intense. Coming up next, we've got the Andromeda Realm. They are at the starting line and ready to go. We've got another race ahead of us, and they're off. Moving into the front is Nadine with Eat My Dust, rapidly gaining ground. We've got Smalls and Laodicean. Laodicean taking the lead, entering into lap 2. Eat My Dust moving forward, fighting it out with Nadine and Laodicean. We've got Smalls and Chris Beck, Racer Dev fighting out in the middle. Looks like Chris Beck is making a move. Sums moving forward. Chris Beck into third. We've got Nadine up into first, fighting hard, pushing hard, taking a nice lead. Can she hold it, folks? Chris Beck making a move with Laodicean fighting into lap 4. We've got Racer Dev pushing his way into the front. Back in the rear, we've got Smalls, Tycho, and D-Cup Lover fighting it out. D-Cup Lover making a move. Nadine falling into fourth. Chris Beck into first. Had to be expected, folks. Last season, he led many of his races. Racer Dev fighting hard in second place. Sums and Nadine battling it out in the middle. Eat My Dust falling rapidly into the rear. We've got Tycho and Smalls battling it out, trying to stay out of last place. But, as expected, up there in first, entering lap 7 is Chris Beck. Nadine and Racer Dev fighting it out for second and third place, with Sums, Laodicean, and Eat My Dust fighting it out in the middle. And as we enter lap 8, Chris Beck holding on to that lead. Nadine and Racer Dev second and third, with a battle in the middle. Oh, we've got Smalls and Tycho battling it out in the rear. We've got Racer Dev, Laodicean, and Eat My Dust in the middle, entering lap 9, with Chris Beck holding on to that comfortable lead. Who will it be, folks? Nadine and Sums pushing hard, trying to get into that lead and take it away from Chris Beck as we enter the final lap. As we come close to the end, we've got Chris Beck with a comfortable lead. What does this guy have? Every race, there's Chris Beck taking it as week 1's winner. Another exciting race. Holy smokes. I can't get over the new sounds. The new sounds add an amazing new touch, a new aspect to the races that makes them more engaging and exciting. Coming up next, we have the Draco Realm. And here we are entering race 3 of week 1, and they're off! With Pharrell taking early lead, Macau Woken making a move, Keenan, Zero, all fighting it out for first. Schultze making an aggressive move, but Bentacruz forcing his way up and then back down into fourth. Farrell, XMK fighting it out, trying to stay out of last as the funky one fades. Farrell, second to last, fighting for XMK to see if they can make something happen. While at the front of the race, Kyle Woken is overtaken by Bentacruz. Keenan and Abbas, Zero, all fighting it out in the middle. Schultz, Farrell pushing up and push back towards the rear. We've got XMK and Farrell battling out in the middle with Zero pushing into third. We've got Peenan moving forward into first place as we enter lap 5, but with some aggressive moves, Zero takes the lead. Bentacruz fighting it out. We've got Peenan and Zero pushing back, but Farrell has quietly snuck up into fourth place, trying to position himself to maybe make a move. In first with a comfortable lead is Bentacruz. Peenan and Zero pushing up into second, but Peenan refuses to give way. Fighting in the middle, Farrell falling further into the rear. Schultze, Kyle Woken, oh my gosh, has fallen all the way back into 7th place. Abbas and the funky one fighting to stay out of last place. As we enter lap 8, Peenan has moved into the front. Bentacruz refusing to give up, pushes back into first. XMK, Zero, and Farrell all battling it out in the middle, and poor Kyle Woken has fallen back into 6th. We've got Schultze making a move, Farrell fighting on the middle, hoping to get past Zero into the top 3, as Bentacruz holds on to his lead comfortably as we enter the final lap. Keenan and XMK pushing hard, fighting it out for second place. Zero, Farrell, and Kyle Woken all taking it up in the middle. Kyle And in the end, pushes up into 5th place, but Bentaku takes it in the end. How awesome was that race? I just can't. I'm speechless at how amazing these races are. Coming up next, we've got Capricornus. And race 4 of week 1 is getting ready to start. Lined up and off. Hakun, last season's champion, takes the early lead, with the Misfits and Super DuPont, Easty and Limydom all pushing it back to the middle. Zero Functional, Bullet, and Notamoro in the rear, trying to keep ahead of Maxby. Maxby with an aggressive push, trying to get to last place. Limydom and the Misfits fighting it out in first. We've got Limydom with an aggressive move, moving forward into lap 3, but Notamoro pushing. Limydom fighting hard. Super DuPont into the front, with Notamoro passing him by. Zero Functional has made a move and is fighting for first in lap 4, with Limydom, Super DuPont, and Notamoro in the top 4. Notamoro falling back with the Misfits, Bullet, and EC in the middle. Patoon, last season's champion, is fighting to stay out of last place with Maxby. What has happened there, folks? Patoon dominated in the playoffs. Zero Functional and Limydom, Super DuPont all fighting it out for the lead. The Misfits and Bullet in the middle, staying ahead of Notamoro. Zero Functional with a healthy lead, but Limydom is fighting hard to stay ahead of the pack. Lap 7 has Zero Functional still holding on. We got the Misfits, Bullet, and Notamoro in the middle, fighting it out to stay ahead of Easty and Patoon and Maxby in the rear. Patoon, I just can't stop. I can't say it enough, the poor guy. His intelligence he's overthinking it, folks. Zero Functional holding on to the lead. Limydom, Super DuPont, and the Misfits all battling it out to try and get into second place, but it looks like Zero Functional's holding on. Limydom, Super DuPont fighting it out. Patoon back in the rear. We've got Zero Functional, folks, holding it into the final lap. Will he hold on? Can Zero Functional take it? He's got a healthy lead, but Limydom and Super DuPont pushing hard, with the Misfits taking it up in 4th. And there it is, folks. Zero Functional, the winner of week 1. How many of these races can we watch? This is almost sensory overload. This is just, I love it. This is amazing. 5th and final race of the night, Scorpius. And as we enter into race 5 of week 1, you can feel the anticipation as the race starts. And Krypermax takes an early lead, with Bowie and MEK with an aggressive move. Mia taking up the rear, pushing hard. Miami into 7th with an aggressive move, pushing past Cryoformax, who fell rapidly into the bottom of the pack. Big Crippen with the lead, but Misha pushing hard with an aggressive move. He takes and opens up the gap between him and the group behind. Devo Sick is pushing hard into 2nd, but Big Crippen refuses to give up. Big Crippen into 2nd. Big Crippen with a move, but falling back into 3rd. Miami Santos has moved up into 4th. Big Crippen and Krypermax fighting it out hard in 1st. There's so much happening, folks, as we enter lap 5. This race is one of the most intense of all so far. Big Crippen with the lead, but Krypermax refusing to give up, pushes hard into 1st. Scabba Jabba and Misha fighting down the middle, back and forth for 5th and 6th. JL Maxi, Bowie, and MNEK in the rear. MNEK fighting hard to stay out of last place, fighting with Bowie. Krypermax back in the lead, but Big Crippen refuses to give up. Devo Sick also fighting hard in 2nd. Man, folks, these races are intense. Lap 7 underway, pushing into lap 8, and we've got Krypermax back in the lead. Remember, folks, at one point he had fallen all the way back into 8th. Scabba Jabba now. Scabba Jabba pushing ahead of Big Crippen, fighting hard with Krypermax for 1st, but Big Crippen with his experience in Season 1, refusing to give up. but Cry for Max. Cry for Max holding on to that lead as we enter the final lap. Scabba Jabba pushing hard. These two, Cry for Max, Scabba Jabba, came all the way from the back, folks. One of the benefits and craziness of 10-lap races. And there it is. Cry for Max takes the win with Scabba Jabba in second and Big Crippen in third. Well, folks, that's 5 races down. Congratulations to the winners. You are now one step closer to being named Lord of your realm. Stay tuned next week when we have 5 races again. We will have another amazing interview. I'll leave that up to a surprise. And now the moment everybody's been waiting for. What is tonight's trivia question? During BLR's interview, he mentioned that there was 2 other developers who went into the development of Exiled Racers. Name those developers.